Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button, and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or in trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are on Thursday, November 23rd. We're going to take a look at Palantir today. So I wanted to come in and do an update on the day off here to sort of take a look at the trend lines, the setup, and then the think or swim study. Should be a pretty quick video. But to me, the most important thing at the moment is it's retesting this uptrend support, which this is a baby of an uptrend support. We spoke about this last time, how I didn't really expect this uptrend support to hold for very long, but it made a valiant push up above our 2121 level and has quickly retraced down through that back under 20, which is where it has wanted to spend a lot of time just historically. But it's encountering on Wednesday the uptrend support. So I'm really curious to see what it does here. Does it sidestep through? Does it fall through? If it does fall through, what does it do if it approaches 18 or even this 1919 level? Just mind that there's this gap down here, 1721, that would fill all the way down at 1505. Not saying that it'll fill it, not saying that it'll fill it anytime soon. But if it gets in that ballpark, just be aware that that gap is there. Now, what we spoke about last time was when it breaks this downtrend resistance, where does it go, right? Does it sort of sidestep through but hold above the 19? Really good sign there. Is it able to re-push back toward the 20 at some point? Or does it fall down and sort of resettle in some of these levels, where it spent a lot of time previously, this like $17 to $15 range? It's a pretty big range, but that's sort of my question at the moment. Now, in case it does continue to push, right, it could still hold this uptrend support for quite some time. Just because I'm talking about when it breaks right now doesn't mean that this is going to be the break. But if it does continue to push, I see some decent clearance just because there's not a lot of previous price action that established a lot of support and resistance levels. That will iron itself out as it spends more time in the 20s, but that's just to say there is sort of range right now from 2121 up to 2310 that'll either mean that it'll spend some time there and just develop some levels, or it may have a relatively smooth initial first sale toward that level. I don't know. Again, that would be a huge percentage jump, so I don't know if it has it in it after the gains that it's seen lately. But if it does continue through that, and then at some point continues even higher, 2417 is the level that I put in as well, and I paused there for the time being, because if it gets up and above that, then we can come back and put in some additional levels up in that range if folks are interested. But this is my look at the moment. Now, the way that this looks on the Think or Swim study is even simpler. So last couple days have put in a little bit of a clawback on the histogram here. So if it continues to sort of put in a symmetrical motion, right, which Palantir often does, at least these last few pushes on the histogram, if this continues without a hiccup candle, it's going to be just a nice climb up, and then we're just at the kickoff of a pullback toward the baseline. Now, what I would look for, and what we spoke about last time, was it's outside of the channel. It can spend a lot of time outside of the channel. This time it didn't necessarily. It's drawn back in now, very obviously. Now the question is, it's still pushing off of this green wave cloud. So is it able to ride the wave cloud? Or, right, like it did here, basically, I was looking for a good example. When it came back into the channel here, it did not need to come press the mid-range of the channel. It just rode the wave cloud. That signified that there was really strong continued bullish momentum happening. So that's the question at the moment. Is there strong bullish continuation here, or are we going to see a die down? Right, the difference on the histogram there was you still saw bullish momentum picking up on the histogram as well. Histogram is not, a golden rule or anything like that, so I don't want to put too much emphasis on that, but just as a note on how this is different. So the look here is, if it does come down and test the mid-range of the channel, what does it do, right? And that would put it, depending on how quickly it does it, maybe at or a bit under 19. Again, that changes every time a candle gets put in, so it's going to shift every trading day. But that's the look here. So like I said, it's a little bit simpler. versus here where there's sort of all of these, potential iterations or maturations of what happens post uptrend break, but also with the caveat of it could continue up this uptrend. Maybe this will hold, and maybe this will develop as a stronger uptrend support than we see right now. And it's not that it's weak now; it's just that it's not super well established, right? It sort of kicked it off here, it confirmed it there, so it's one confirmation in. This would be the second, so that would, every confirmation bolsters the confidence in the level to hold, with the caveat of all trend lines eventually break, which is good news if you're a bull when it's in a downtrend. It's bad news if you're a bull when it's an uptrend. So just keep that in mind. But that's my look so far. It's at a really critical moment, so I'm interested to see what happens as we close out the week, as we kick off next week. I'm interested to see what happens, whether it breaks that or holds it. Both scenarios are sort of equally interesting. So if folks are interested, we'll keep up with it and check in once either of those things happen. All right, folks, I hope that you are enjoying your day off. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.